Hey everybody, just a quick word before the video starts. I guess this is a technical sponsorship. It's my own app. It's called iRoleplay. You can create characters. I'll probably have a little video up here. Create characters. You can check other people's out. All kinds of different role plays and categories. So if you're into the whole role playing scene, it's the perfect app for you. And yeah, I created it myself. It's on iRoleplay. You can find me on social media everywhere. Probably let you guys a little link below. Of course, for the download the app. And hopefully you guys give it a download. You check me out on social media. Thank you so much. Strikers, your guard dragon decks. There's plenty of great YouTubers out there. Most of the popular Yugi tubers obviously are totally like on top of it. I see it and I know about it. I play against it. Just not for me. The most competitive I've ever gotten is Pendulum Magicians, and maybe someday I'll do it. But then again, when I was playing it, you do make crazy boards with Pendulum Magicians. Obviously, there's technically meta, and it's the most meta deck I have. But I was like taking it to locals and like not winning locals. Well, for some reason in my locals they don't actually have like people who win. It's just you like play 4 games and you're done. In any case, I would take it to locals and it would just be really good and overpowered, and like the more casual strategies, like the guys would just get disinterested. So kind of got away from it and kind of looked somewhere else, maybe to find some sort of viable strategy to take the locals to play against friends. Decks that were good but not overpowered. Obviously not meta decks. I'm not really interested in meta decks since then because I mostly play locals. I don't play competitive, as you guys know. As you guys can tell from the video, I'm obviously going to be showing you my Galaxy Eyes deck profile, my favorite card art, and that's why it's my favorite deck. And this is like pretty much a top tier casual strategy. You're not going to win your locals. You're not going to take this to any tournament and surprise anybody, but you can hold your own against any deck. That's probably my favorite part about it. You're not going to win all the time. If you take it to locals, you'd probably win at least 50% of your matches or more. This is the most competitive deck I guess I will ever bring to you guys. Then I do plan on bringing you guys Toons, and Toons will be going Dark Magicians. Unfortunately, I started with Dark Magician, so I'm like kind of stuck with the deck forever, and I just didn't get done retooling it today. So I'm ordering a bunch of cards. A new Egyptian God deck profile, which is going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait to show that one off. I'm waiting for like 3, 4, 5 cards to come in for that. They'll never be the same. That's probably my second favorite deck. I really love the Egyptian cards and Egyptian gods, and this new I completely changed the deck. It'll never like be the same engine the same way, and it's actually quite consistent now, which is like the most insane thing to ever think of. Not competitive obviously, but still for the strategy itself, it's really good. In any case, we'll get right into the deck profile today. My deck profile is actually quite different. I've been playing Galaxy Eyes since it's my favorite deck for quite some time, and I play it all the time. I did a lot of retooling. I did a lot of match playing online against other casual strategies, and this is the deck profile that I came up with. It's a little expensive too, so keep that in mind when you're making this. I have a lot of deck profiles coming, especially like DDDs, which are probably like $40 for the entire deck. There's some cards that 3 cards cost $40 in this deck, so it's a little pricey, so keep that in mind if you're interested and you're watching these videos. And let's get started on here. I'm going to start with just the 2 Photon Vanishers, please. Don't go crazy. I know everyone, this is like a staple 3 of, and some people play like a 3 of Photon Thrasher. Like, first of all, if please don't. Trust me on this one. Don't run any Photon Thrasher. So many other cards that you can use for like disrupting your opponent and everything like that. So, and yeah, it's good to have your your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in your hand, but not the most important thing. Certainly not, but it's good. It's a free special summon to get your Solflare out. So just the 2, it's the perfect ratio for me, and it's easily searchable. Obviously, this deck has insane searchability with all its cards. I do run the 3 Galaxy Soldiers, or Galaxy Knights, excuse me. It's a really good card. I did not know how to use it really. Like, I didn't know when to play it. And as you go along, you will learn how to play, because that ability to normal summon without tributing, and then also giving yourself the other level 8 that you need, because your Photon or your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons will almost always be in the graveyard for one reason or another, especially the way I play the deck. So this card comes in big handy, and the only normal summons you have is Galaxy Wizard and Galaxy Knight, so you won't have to worry about wasting it or anything like that. And again, like I said, it's a free rank 8 XZs monsters, and obviously rank 8s are the best XZs, barring maybe 4s, but I don't think it's actually that very close. So yeah, that's a definite 3 of. I know not everyone maybe run it the 3, but it's really important because it's a 1-card combo. I won't go too far into this. You guys know what this card is. It's a Galaxy-sized Photon Dragon. It's a big part of your combos. It's a good thing that you can always throw in the graveyard too, in case you ever need to. It's a staple. You'll in the way I play my deck, and you'll probably see in the replays that I'll show you, because I'm gonna have quite a few, because I just play the deck so much. I'm gonna show it off. I don't think I've ever used the effect, like, just in general, really. Like, it's pretty decent, and I know, but I think some people get too focused on it. The main focus of this deck is always going to be your rank 8s, not the cards that are on the field. This is just a good way to facilitate the kind of combos you have going on in here. Okay. And the 3 Galaxy Soldiers, of course. This is one of the a little more of the expensive cards. I think they're $8 each, maybe. And I changed the way I play this card. I didn't really know how to use it before, but as you'll see in my extra deck, just having 2 like Galaxy cards, you can go in your Solflare, but there's also so many other options, as you guys will see come along. And just being able to search any card, I mean, that's the biggest benefit of this deck. You can go through your entire deck and play whatever cards you want in any given turn. Really, there's not really anything about such thing as bricking in this deck, for the most part. I would say you brick maybe like 10% of the time. It really is quite consistent, just because you have that ability to go into anywhere you want. I do run the 3 Galaxy Braves, and the reason I do is because of that trade, and you always want to make sure you have that level 8 to discard in the draw 2, because that's such a really powerful effect. And there's also other cards that let you just grab it from your deck, and you kind of want to go through your Galaxy Braves as soon as possible. You don't really want to draw into them too much. You only really want to search them out or use them for your Galaxy Expedition or the Galaxy Trance. That's its main use, and again, you can always throw it out with your trade in if you have it in your hand. So, and its effect to special summon a free level 8. It's pretty good. It's okay. Now this is, I believe, the most expensive card in the deck. I don't know why. Photon Orbital. It's a good card. It's a free search, but it doesn't search. I guess it's because it's a special summon. Because your Galaxy Wizards has the ability to search more. It has spell and traps, and this is just monsters. But I guess this is just because it's a special summon. You don't have to use your normal summon on it to search. It's a good card. It's a must-have. It's a real pain in the tuchus. Trust me, to have this card, to pay for it. I really didn't want to in the beginning when I was first playing it, but you can't trade these in for anything. You have to have 3 of these, so you're gonna have to bite the bullet. I think they're like $24 each, honestly, or maybe 14 or 24. But I remember I paid quite a bit for these cards, but I just had to. I didn't have a choice. And if you're playing with decks, you have to, because it's a free search for anything, and it's your combos, it's your everything. So yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I guess it maybe was just one rare in the sets, and it never came out ever again. I believe that was the case. And speaking of, like I just mentioned, your Galaxy Wizards, one of your other normal summons other than your Galaxy Knight, allows you to, first of all, rank up to 8, which is super important. You won't usually use it to XZ summon, but you will use it for your Galaxy Expedition, just to get another level 8 on the field, which really helps facilitate your plays. Or you can search any monster. It's a 1-card rank 8, because you can do it to search your Galaxy Trance. So if you have like no board and you draw into it, you feel safe, because you know you can go into your rank 8s, and you can go any which way with your rank 8s, as you guys will see, because there's so much diversity in the extra deck. It's absolutely crazy. It's like hard to fit 15 cards, and I play a little more unique in my extra deck as well, I believe. So Galaxy Wizard is just a really important card, and it's cheap as well, which is really, really great. And the aforementioned trade-in, not much to talk about there. That's just a super powerful effect, especially because your Galaxy has Photon Dragon, can be useful in the graveyard. None of your other rank 8s are useful in the graveyard, but just the ability to draw 2 in any case, even if you do have to give up one of your Galaxy Knights, your Galaxy whatever, just drawing 2 means a lot, especially when you have your Galaxy Trances that you can just special summon it back and everything like that. So a must, and luckily there's obviously, it's been out for like ever, so no, we have to worry about like the pricing on that one. Just the 2 Galaxy Expeditions. I know I talked a lot about this card actually, but it's a good card, but you don't want to see it in your hand by itself. Like, you won't want to see it too much. And 3, you will almost always see it, and it's kind of a card you want to get later, and maybe even search out with your Galaxy Wizard, depending on the situation. If you have 3, you always have that chance of just drawing into it early and then drawing into it soon after, and you would never want to do that. But it's good. Obviously, a free special summoning from the deck is just a super powerful effect. It's pretty much one of the best effects in the game, other than drawing cards, really, because it allows you just to kind of do whatever and set up your plays in the graveyard too. So that's a good one. Just the 2 of, though. Just the 2 of. And yeah, this is a pretty expensive deck now as I'm going through it, like really looking at it. Your Photon Sanctuary. It's a pretty crazy card, though, honestly. It's a free Solflare Dragon. That's absolutely bananas. Like you have one spell card that allows it to go through. Or your sometimes you will actually use it for your Galaxy as a Photon Dragon, because you'll just need that extra rank 8 on the field, and you can obviously special summon that Galaxy Eyes monster, but just by tributing the 2 tokens used by this. So, and your Solflare Dragon allows you to grab back in your graveyard as well. So, a really powerful card, and yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it's a little more expensive just because of how crazy the idea of summoning 2 tokens, which every deck would love to have, And just like the Galaxy Expedition, you don't want to see this card too much, just enough. Your Galaxy Trance, ultra powerful effect, being able to special summon one of your rank 8s from your graveyard and then special summon another rank 8 from your deck. And again, because you don't really want to draw into your rank 8s, you just want to be able to get them as you please, really. And this allows you to do that. Just for 2,000 life points, it usually doesn't matter, because the monsters you're summoning make such a big difference on the board. So that's an absolutely fantastic card. It's certainly one of the best. And for a little bit of draw power, it's always good because you usually have a play in your hand no matter what. But if you can get 2 extra cards in your hand, and you can really play around the deck at all. So this is one of the few decks that can really, really use Pot of Desires, and it's not a huge difference because there's so many ways to special summon your rank 8s, You don't really have to worry about banishing like all your cards, like maybe your Photon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, but again, you can usually search him through all these different means, and you'll usually have him in your hand anyways or in the graveyard already. So by the time you use your Pot of Desires, it really makes no difference at all. And those +2s and the card, the +2 that you get, or technically the +1, it really just makes you that much better on your board. But yeah, you don't want to use 3 of them and game your deck out. This may be controversial. I've seen some discussions on it, and I'll show you guys a replay. Like I said, the only normal summons you have is your Galaxy Wizard and your Photon, or your Galaxy Knight. If you don't have those cards in your hand, you need those cards to start your combos, because all your other cards essentially are special summoned based off those cards on your normal summon. And if you don't have them, it's hard to start busting off your combos. Excuse me. So if you can start off with your Galaxy Wizard, and then you can use your Photon Orbital, and then you can use your Thrasher, that makes all the difference in the world. And it's a 1-card rank 8 for your XZ summoning. You do your Accellight, grab your Galaxy Wizard, use its effect to grab Trance, which I use. This is a combo I use all the time. You grab Trance, then you activate it, grab your whatever from the graveyard, your rank 8, special summon another rank 8 from your deck, and then you go into it and you go into whatever play you want. So it makes all the difference in the world. This card is definitely important, and I know it's not a popular opinion, but I'll show you guys where it comes in handy. I'll try to find some replays where I really use that Accellight. And another card that is probably never used in any Galaxy Eyes deck, but has been a game ender for me a lot of times, and it's a very underrated card, or the card that it summons, I should say, and that's your Cipher Ascension. Allows you to go to Neo Galaxy Eyes, which no one uses, but if you're playing tag teams especially, this is a must-have. This is a tag team game ender, like huge time. It's crazy. The Neo Galaxy Eyes is an underrated card in this deck, and having only one of them, it's so easy to get your Galaxy Eyes Cipher Dragons. You never run more than one of these, but it's a card if you see it in your hand, you're like, wow, this is great, especially if you're going second, and the fact that it's a quick play spell as well. So if someone was to target one of your Galaxy Eyes monsters, and you can just flip it, and essentially make your opponent just waste a card. And then once you use the effect, I mean, it goes off, and I'll show off the extra deck as well when it comes around. I do run the 2 Tachyon, I don't know, Tachyon, I don't even know what to call it, but the trap card. And the reason I don't run like normal solemns or whatever is because it negates everything in the chain. So if you were able to maybe use like one of your monsters that have like monster or spell negates, and they were to like use a ghost ogre, you would negate everything before that. The fact that you can negate everything prior in the chain makes all the difference versus just one negate on the field like a solemn judgment. I love this card. It has saved me duels, and it's I don't know if everyone uses it, but the effect to negate everything that happened in the chain before it, and I believe, give me 1 second, I believe it shuffles it into the deck as well, which also is a mega powerful effect because so many graveyard effects go off. Right, you shuffle them, so not only do you negate everything in the chain, but you also shuffle it into the deck, so there's no, you don't have to worry about any graveyard effects, especially if you're talking about Sky Strikers. Whatever reason, this deck has a very good matchup against Sky Strikers. I'll probably show you 2 or 3. Just to show you that it can stand up to, in some sense, to the meta decks, especially Sky Strikers. For whatever reason, it has a good matchup. It's worked out for me a lot. And the ability to make sure, like, if the field spell's activated, that it goes into the deck instead of the graveyard makes all the difference in the world, especially when you're playing meta decks like Sky Strikers. And last, which I really have not seen like almost ever, and a lot of people maybe don't even play this anymore. I don't know. Evenly matched will it'll win you games, and especially when you're talking about a deck that thrives going second because of what the Xyz monsters do. And that's what I really like about this deck as well. Going first, you can set up negates, or going second, you can set up destroying boards. It's very flexible, and if you're going second, this card, I main deck it at all times. Very important, and I'm sure I'll have plenty of gameplays where I've seen the 3 of. It's a must because you want to draw in your opening, obviously, and giving 3 gives you the highest possibility of that. And when you do it, it's a game ender because you're able to go through combos pretty easily. It's never almost a problem that you like have that one less card or whatever, and especially if you're going second because you have that extra draw. You end your battle phase or whatever, activate evenly matched. They have to banish whatever board they've made, and then you kind of go into it from there. It's really great card. I bought it when it was pretty cheap as well. I think I spent $12 each on these, which was the lowest I'd seen it in a really long time. So I take the opportunity, and I love it in this deck. And it really is a way for you to keep up with the meta. You know, it's a card that if you play a more competitive deck that you wouldn't expect that a casual deck like this would have, and it's really good to have it in the main deck, especially because people usually side it. So if you're going game 1 and you have it and you use it, it's a really big surprise and can keep you the advantage. So that was the 40 cards there. We're going to the extra deck now. And again, this is I may have a less traditional extra deck as well, especially considering I only run 2 Solflare Dragons. Excuse me. A really, really good card. Obviously, lets you grab one of your galaxies. You're usually going to grab your Galaxy Wizard just because you have that wide open thing where you can kind of go from wherever you want, grab it back, and you go into your draw phase, and then you see what you have from the draw, and then you can go around from there because Galaxy Wizard searches everything, which is really great. And I forgot to mention this deck works pretty well through like hand traps and stuff like that. There's usually just so much you can do in terms of searching with your Thrashers and your Orbitals and your Wizards, you know. And your opponent, most people aren't super familiar with Galaxy Eyes in any case, you know, so you can usually bait them out and then just keep going from there. But again, this deck is filled with extra deck monsters, so I only run the 2. I only have space for 2, really. That's kind of the best way maybe I can describe it. Not that it's a bad card, but, and I guess you can use the ability to send your Photon Dragon to the graveyard to destroy a special summon monster. Decent enough, I suppose. You're not going to use it very often. This is something I added very recently, maybe within the past month. It's your Nova and your Infinity, because you do have those Galaxy Soldiers, which is a very easy Infinity, and as we all know, Infinity is a super awesome card. So if you have your Galaxy Soldiers, you pretty much have to have this in your card because just what it could do, grab a monster and negate anything once per turn. That is a crazy, crazy effect. And I realized that you can use it, and I have been. And if you can set up a board of 2 negates with whatever rank hit you need, if you need to negate spells and stuff like that, I mean, that's the way to do it. It's super good. So I have sacrificed my extra deck space for these 2 cards. Really, I have. And it has totally been worth it. Totally. Just the one Neo Galaxy Eyes, like I said, for Cipher Ascension. It's 4,500 attack, first of all, which is like pretty nuts. And the fact that it grabs all your opponent's monsters, and it's not targeting as well. I mean, and then it gains attack based on how, I think it gains 500 attack for every monster on your side of the field. So, like I said, it's a game ender, and it's not too hard to get out. It's never really too much of a worry. I like it. I think it's a great card. I know no one uses it, but I do, and it has won me games, I promise you. And it's usually never bricky. Almost never, really. For your number cards, I'll just go over all of them here. Well, I'll start here. So you got your, I just found out this came out in the TCG as well. Your number 97, which lets you special summon a C level or a number monster, and grab the other one as material, and it can't be targeted by card effects. It's 3,000 attack as well, which is pretty great. Meaning it won't be infinite impermanence or anything like that. Its effect usually will go off depending. So that's a really great card, and what you will summon with it depends on what you need, really. I usually go into my C107, which is just a 4,500 attack monster for free, and it negates all the effects on the field. So again, it's another kind of a game ender. And then your number 98, you can just go into that regular. You don't have to use number 97. But again, when I'm using number 97, because I feel sorry, my video crashed. As I was saying, 107 is more of like a game ender. But you'll usually go into your Hope Harbinger, especially when you're playing your Sky Striker matchups. But you need something to attach it to because the extra deck space is so tight and locked up. So yeah, C107 is usually the go-to, and you may not even go to number 97. It's very game dependent. Usually you'll go into your negates, especially for your Hope Harbinger, which attaches a spell card. It doesn't send to the graveyard. Again, very, very, very important. Your number 90, this is just a great card, a free monster effect negate, and you get to grab any Galaxy card to your hand. What a great card. If you're going first, it's usually you'll usually open up with that every single time, as you should. It's like definitely a necessity. Again, the extra space is tight, and I know it's crazy. Just the one full armor, a free 4,000 attack monster, which can be upgraded just from your Galaxy Eye Cipher Dragon. It targets a face-up card, which is usually going to be a monster. Sometimes it's a spell card. Depends on what deck. Especially if you're playing against a field deck, right? A field spell, I should say. Again, I use that space for my Cyber Dragon, Infinity, and Nova just because I think that effect is so powerful. So just the one. And then, once again, it's the extra deck space is tight, only 15 cards, right? Those are your two Galaxy Eye Cipher Dragons. And as you saw from the other ones, there's so many other rank 8s you can go to, but this is usually your main one, and that effect to just grab a monster, make it yours, and especially if they're playing light monsters, it's completely over for them because you can just tribute the monsters or use them for a link summon as well. For your other Solflare, even if sometimes I've just wasted a Solflare just to get rid of 2 of their monsters, it depends on the situation. But just being able to grab monsters and have them attack into the other monsters is a super powerful effect. And it's in the card art you see right here. That's my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh. I just love the colors and the way it lights up, and the rarity, of course, is really great too. Super super awesome. The 2 Cipher Blades, and I know people would probably prefer full armor, but the ability to destroy any card face down or face up is huge to me. It's a more important effect, and and you can obviously upgrade straight to it. And if it's destroyed, you get to summon your Galaxy Cipher Dragon, which plays better for my Cipher Ascension if I was to draw into it as well. So that's my thought on it. Being able to destroy, I know it's less attack, 800 less attack, but again, 3,200 is a lot. It's usually like if you need to destroy a monster that has more than that, you have the ability to do that with this XZ monster. So that's why I run 2, though. That's my justification there. And if you hand really, really bricks and you don't really have a choice, your Starliege, which is pretty good, and especially if you can build a board and attach a Photon Orbital to it so it itself can't be targeted, it's okay. It's pretty good. It protects your other cards. I wish it searched maybe something, but the ability, I guess, to special summon a rank 8 is pretty decent. Just the one of, and you will use it every so often, and it will help you kind of gain some sort of board and add some sort of protection while you get more cards that you need to make better combos. So definitely just a one of. That is my deck profile. Of course, as always, guys, I will have the full deck list down below. So if you just want to just look at the deck profile, just the cards, you don't have to listen to me, you know. You guys know how I roll. But yeah, I would imagine watching the video, kind of having me explain how these cards work together would probably be better. But again, I know you guys like doing that. I know I like doing it too, because when I watch deck profiles, like I said, I wish more people did that. I'm going to go right into gameplay now, so I'm going to cut it out, and I'll talk over it, explain to you guys some of the combos I have going on, and kind of how the deck feels, and we'll go from there. So thanks so much, guys. Take a look at some replays here. Okay, it looks like he's playing some Dolce cards. Again, like I said, like this will be casual, so get rid of the your Galaxy Photon Dragon. You get to grab another one. He infinite impermanence in that, so here we go. You guys can kind of see where this comes in. Working through the hand traps, and then yeah, that super powerful effect of being able to get into that rank 8 is super awesome. It looks like he passed, so I was just trying to go for the attack, I guess. Okay, so yeah, so he Regekis me, and I have a completely empty board, so this will be interesting to see. So you go into the super powerful effect of the Photon Sanctuary, get to grab that back, and again, you could grab that Galaxy Knight back, right? So, which is super great, and then you can also use that to anything that you want. Yeah, and if I was smart, I would have gone into Infinity as well, but I didn't need to in this case, right? I just kind of completely dominated them, as you guys saw. Galaxy Eyes versus Pendulums. Let's see what kind of pendulums these are. Oh, Ignite Pendulums. Again, another casual strategy here. Just your typical pendulum play, no matter what deck you're playing, right? Your Electromite's just so powerful. And then you guys can see where Evenly Matched comes in, right? And then you can go into all your different plays, which is just so crazy. And then you get your free searches, and you'll usually go for your Galaxy Wizard, right? Just because of that free whatever you want. And then she can make herself a level 8, and you see in that case you would. And I knew that he was obviously playing Pendulum, so I would negate that. So again, you can see like where the deck kind of comes in, where it's just like a really powerful, kind of overwhelming maybe sometimes. Let's see. Here I'm playing World Chalice, perhaps. I'm not really. Oh, maybe Signnets or whatever, the Code Talker Dungeon. There you can see that super great effect of the Galaxy Trance. And I'm preparing for monster negates, right? If you don't know what your opponent's playing, it's usually the best way to go about it. Yeah, and you can negate spell and trap or hand traps too from number 90, which is crazy. And then you also get the free search. So he's gonna go into his needle fiber plays. Probably gonna set up quite a nasty board, especially when he gets the Starliege out. The synchros, I'm assuming. Yeah. So he's going to go into his guard dragon plays, I believe. Yep. Wasn't able to completely set up a board because I was able to get that negate in. So things aren't looking great, you know. Like he did destroy it. And then you see that Galaxy Trance comes in. You get the free level 8s from your deck, which is just so nuts. And then you can just use the normal effect, right, from this thing. Destroys it, and so I have another thing. Yeah, so you see the recovery, right? That Galaxy Wizard is just an insane card. And then you completely destroy boards, right? Yeah, and then I actually go into the Cipher Dragon, or the Cipher Blade myself, just to destroy his own monster, so he doesn't get it back, because unfortunately you don't keep it forever. And again, it's just a complete domination, right? This deck is really quite good. Not competitive again, but what it's able to do and just kind of go wherever it wants is really powerful. Yeah, so this is like the divine cards with that spell, the field spell. This deck's usually a pain to deal with, honestly, with my other casual strategies, but in this case I'm able to do whatever. And I did have to use my normal summon, but for whatever crazy reason, your Photon Orbital can be summoned and then used to search, which is nuts. Yeah, I'm just going to go into it, and you can do whatever, honestly. Yeah, I'm just going to start destroying, and I don't know what his face downs are, so I'm going to try to play it safe as well. And then there you go, you see the negate, which is just nuts, right? The Tachyon Transmigration, or whatever it's called. And again, I should have gone to my infinities just before I was using. I just wanted to get... Oh, never mind. I lied. He was able to do that, which is just kind of stupid. But as you guys could see, once you get that kind of thing going, and he ended up quitting, right? So a really powerful board, and just wanted to show you. Ritual decks, yeah. I hate ritual decks so much. I don't know why. I really don't like the strategy. Had a past turn, I guess. I don't know. Just having those two pieces on the field is a really great start. And again, that Galaxy Knight effect, right, is so good. And I'm almost trying to go for a game almost here, right? Just because I'm not... And I wasn't really able to pull it off. I should have been able to, but... in this case, he's going to try to go into his ritual summoning. I'm pretty sure he gets it off. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so I have all these negates, right, which are super important, and really just kind of take control. And that's something you have to do against ritual decks, because they're able to recover quite well. But being able to shuffle it into the deck and not the graveyard, very, very, very important deck. Here, so here's the Sky Striker matchup, which I like. This is like where like the top of the deck kind of comes, right? And I don't know if this was before the Kagiri strike. It could have been. I'm not sure. But here we go. I start with the Evenly match, which is mega ultra important here. He negates it. There's not much I can do. But again, it is your Galaxy Soldier is technically, so you can still go into it. And then you get your free rank 8s. Go from there. Get to destroy that field spell. I'm trying to just get as much as I can going. Keep going. He's going to special summon. This was before I really knew the effects of these of Sky Strikers, and I played it a lot more now, so I know that was kind of a silly move. But I was just trying to get everything off the board right. And he does take control of it, and it doesn't look great for me even after that evenly match, which is not pretty bad. But I do have that Galaxy Trance, which is just a 1-card combo, which makes things go absolutely bananas. And I get my card back right at the end of the turn. Yep. Get the special summon on the deck. That way I don't draw into them. And I know, right, we're playing Sky Strikers, so obviously he will be having lots of spell cards. And again, I'm trying to force him through all of his extra deck monsters, especially now that Kagiri's at 1, so it makes it much less consistent. I'm waiting for him to play any kind of important spell cards, and here we go. Yeah, he's going in. It's just Sky Strikers are able to recover so much, right? No matter how much you think you have him down, which is quite unfortunate. And I do have that very, very important negate, especially against this. He did have 2, which was just kind of weird, but it didn't really matter too much, because I was going to end phase and grab it back at the end of the turn, right? And I still have that spell, grab, not go to the graveyard. He does Ghost Ogre, but I do have that really, really, really important negate, and he didn't have anything to go through after that, right? So that was what it can do against Sky Strikers, and I'm pretty sure I may have another example for you guys. Here's another example of some recovery. He's playing, looks like ninjas, I guess. Able to grab that effect, go there. Most likely I'm going to grab my Galaxy Knight back, I would imagine. I'm trying to set up all my plays here. Yeah, perfect. Boom. Lets you go anywhere else. I increase level to 8 just to set up that monster negate going first. It's not a great going first deck, but certainly not terrible. And I'm always setting up for monster and effects, right? Everyone has monster effects go off. And I'm setting up for my next turn, being able to grab that Galaxy card. Right, so he usually, like, casual strategies, if you can negate the first thing, just like, if you can negate the first turn, just kind of like Dark Magician, there's nothing really you can do about it. Here we go. Yeah, so there you see it. You know, you wouldn't want to see your Galaxy Trance too much, but in this case, it's really great. So I'm going to go into that, and then go into Cipher Blade, destroy the other one, and just try to get his board as low as possible so he doesn't have any more plays to go through after that. So he's going to set up a pretty decent board here with his Yosenjus. I think he thought it was supposed to be, it's in the main monster zone, so I think that's where he messed up there. And yeah, he didn't have anything to go through after that. So here's, according to this is like what the perfect hand is here. So I got my free rank 8s on the board now already. I'm able to grab another one. And having all of your like Galaxy Photon Dragons in your hand or in your graveyard, like to start out with, knowing that you're not going to grab them is like super important. So yeah, I was able to get 2 rank 8s out and he quit. I just wanted to show you guys that like when things go right, I still have 4 cards in my hand. I'm going to be able to draw more. I could go into infinity if I really wanted to. I'm going to have the other rank 8s, so really nothing he could have done about it, which is pretty darn crazy. So that's what it can, like, if everything goes right for you. Here we are playing gadget cards, I suppose. Yeah. Get the free Solflare out. Yeah, just make sure you don't waste your normal summon, right? And I do have that Cipher Ascension in my hand too, so you guys can kind of see how that plays out as well. I'm gonna get my free cards here. Yeah, destroy 1. Make sure nothing crazy is going on. So maybe not the most perfect hand, you know. I do have these just cut tokens laying around that he'll probably destroy. He decides to go for the Solflare surprisingly because it allows me to grab whatever card I want. Not sure where that comes from, but of course I take advantage. And I grab 2 free searches here. I grab that. And I go into my rank 4s. So this kind of protects me, right? Because now you guys can see where this comes in. I'm just giving myself insurance, you know. Because now I can't be targeted by card effects and everything like that. So that's where that comes from. And the last free play I have here is 10 Yi monsters. It looks like more of a normal monster type of deck. Go for it. I guess he's trying to take a unique stab at the whole normal monster deck, and I guess we'll see how it recovers here, right? Got your Galaxy Soldiers, of course, which allows you to search anything that you want. It kind of depends on how you're looking at it. I just decided to go into all my plays here. Perfect, yeah. So I pretty much just destroy everything that he's got, right? Yeah, he didn't really have anything. Alright guys, so yeah, that was my Galaxy Eyes cards. You can see how it gets overwhelming. You can see how there's really anywhere you can go with it. And this deck does take quite some time to get used to, of course. Just because there's so many searches, like free searches for every card in your deck. You have to know what you want because you're constantly going to be faced with that idea. I wasn't able to show you Accellight. The replay was busted, but it came out to where it was a close match, and pretty much both of us had exhausted our cards, and I drew into Accellight, went into Galaxy Soldier, went into Galaxy Trance, and ended the game. That's how important it can be. It's definitely not a card you're going to use for tag team duels, but most people aren't preparing for tag team duels, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed, and please, if you guys are interested, like I had in the advertisement at the beginning, if you're interested in iRoleplay, please give it a download. It would mean the world to me. It's totally just coming out of the App Store right now, so by the time this video comes out, it should be day 1. And if you guys like it, let me know down below. I'll leave a link for all the social media and a link to the download in the description. So if you guys like that, you can download it and support me. Thank you so much for listening, guys.